Hey loves, Kim here, and I'm back with another video. So if this is your first time on the channel, welcome. Thank you so much for watching this video. You know, get comfortable. This is a little lengthy, but I promise it'll be worth it, hopefully. And if you've been here, if you've been an OD or OG or whatever, thank you so much for coming back. I always appreciate you all so much, and I'm back with another video. So I wanted to delve deep into kind of the whole rich and famous aspect of Get Famous. So here I am building a mansion here. I think I'm going to be doing more mansion builds. Let me know down in the comments if that's something that you are here for, or if you're like, nah, not so much. Let me know, because what you all want to see is very important to me, and I'm trying to make sure that I am doing things that are entertaining for you all, and also cater to some of the things that you would like to see. So yeah, here we are. But yeah, like I was saying, I want to do more mansion builds, and this is just kind of like the tip of the iceberg here. So this is a modern celebrity mansion, and what's modern about it is just the whole aesthetic. There are a lot of rectangles and a lot of angles, and just the color scheme itself is very indicative of what's considered to be modern architecture. So there are a lot of neutrals and white tones, and just kind of like the stones that I use a lot. I use a lot of concrete, and I also use some stone pavers here and there. So yeah, that was the whole feeling that I was going for. As per usual, I was inspired by just watching some shows on Netflix about architecture and just how other people live in different parts of the world. And I saw on one of the shows this cliffside mansion, and it was amazing. I was like, oh my gosh, I want to live there. And now that we have terraforming or terrain manipulation in The Sims 4, this was actually something that I can achieve. There's been so many things in the past that I wanted to do, but since I couldn't manipulate the ground, it was like, it's not worth it, me trying to put in all of these trees and bushes and rocks to kind of fake the funk. So I held off on it, but we were so fortunate to get this. A lot of people argue that we should have had this from the beginning, but you know, I'm not a game developer, so I'm pretty sure there is a good reason why we didn't have this out the gate. But whatever the reason is, I'm glad that we have it now. And I spent so long trying to manipulate this terrain. Like, I spent 3 hours just getting this hill at a decent space. So yeah, I'm kind of happy with it. I'm actually really happy with it. We're working on this structure right now. This area here is where the cars will drive up the curved pathway, and then they will park. It's not necessarily a garage, it's more like a carport situation, using part of the building as shelter from the elements and things like that. Since this is based off of California and LA, I don't foresee Del Sol Valley getting a lot of rain. If you have seasons, I don't foresee it being like a Windenburg where when it rains it pours. So I think your cars and everything will be okay, but you never know. I'm currently playing in the spring season, so I haven't really experienced any bad weather so far. And yeah, I'm just adding in these doors. I love these modern wood doors that came with Get Famous, and I use them as much as I possibly can. I only wish that all of the doors had the same exact swatches. Some of them do, like that, like the doors was kind of more of the multiple rectangle panels on it, they match, but the other ones where it's just one on either side, they don't match exactly. So yeah, I am building a separate building here, and I'm connecting it with pieces of flooring and stairs. I really love the fact that we're able to do rooms at different levels. Like, that's so revolutionary. That's not even something that we had in The Sims 3. Now, we can't do like a true split level, only because if it's at a different height, the floor that is, you can't connect them by a wall, but you can connect them with with stairs and flooring and things like that. Now, I've heard of this glitch. Like, I was watching the Sim Supply video the other day, and I've heard of this glitch where you can kind of connect it with a wall if you built the wall elsewhere and then place it in the middle. However, you can't put a roof over it, so again, that's not true split leveling. Now we're working on the fencing for kind of like our hill area, and this is where it got extremely frustrating trying to do like this extravagant hill and all of this terrain manipulation, because obviously you can see how wonky that fencing is, like how jagged it is, how unattractive it is really, and it was a lot for me getting it to the place that I did get it to. I had to do a lot of tweaking with the raised and lower terrain and the smooth terrain, and I had to be really careful with it, because if I went too far, it would manipulate another piece of terrain that I didn't want to touch. So I'm like, this is very tedious. I cut out most of it because no one wants to sit through that, right? But yeah, it was really tedious. In the future, I mean, I would like to do more ambitious builds like this with the whole terrain manipulation, but I might scale it down just a notch. This was my first time really delving deep into terrain manipulation. I used a little bit on my last build, which was the starter apartment homes, but it was very subtle and it didn't affect the actual build structure at all, whereas this one, it affects it directly. So I had a bit of fun, but like I said, it was a steep learning curve because I never really delved that deeply into this new tool, and it is a powerful tool. I do feel more comfortable with it now that I've had all of this time to play with it. Do I feel like I'm the best? No, but you know, there is a lot of room to grow and learn, and it's not going anywhere, so I have plenty of time to get it together. Let me know if you've played with the terrain tools, and just let me know how comfortable you are with it. Like, was it a steep learning curve for you? Were you able to pick up on it right away? Also, I didn't watch the live streams that the gurus did, mainly because when they would stream, like, that was the beginning of my work shift, and I just couldn't possibly watch them and keep a job at the same time. So I relied on watching a couple of YouTubers that I follow here to see, you know, just how they were able to overcome that learning curve. And also I just read the tutorial, and that helped a lot as well, because I was able to get my own understanding and learn more at my own pace. So yeah, here we are. We're working on the main level here. We're adding in kind of like this space for outdoor entertainment. We're going to add a barbecue here later on, also a bar and a koi pond. So ooh, get excited for that. I really love that new item. There's not tons and tons of gameplay that comes with it, but it is just enough to make it a showstopper piece. And here we are here. I was initially going to do like a little lake underneath and then put the koi pond on top, but I couldn't do that, so I cut a good chunk of that off. Now we're just working on kind of like the upper area. This is going to be a breezeway here, and I think we'll get a little bit more into that a bit later on. But yeah, I'm just adding in these columns everywhere just to make it seem like this build is super duper secure and can withstand whatever, you know, this environment has to throw at it. Now, what I do know about California is that unfortunately it is prone to earthquakes and landslides and mudslides, so that's quite unfortunate. Thankfully, we don't have those issues in The Sims. Like, the only time like there's even a thing with earthquakes is in city living, where it's like one of the apartment lot types where it's like seismic tremors. If I'm not mistaken, that's what it's called. Sometimes I get upset. Well, not really upset, but I just wonder why certain lot types can't be applied to other lots. Like, I don't know, maybe because it's such a real thing in California for earthquakes to happen. It's not the best idea to have a seismic tremor as a lot type, but it does make it a bit more realistic. But that's another thought for another video. I've just started the landscaping here, and I'm not sure what those trees are called, but they are the teardrop looking trees that came with base game, and I really like how that came out. I was looking at the areas around it. None of them really have those trees, but we can just say that this family imported those trees from somewhere. And when you have to import things, like, don't you just feel like fancy? Don't you just feel like luxurious? Anyway, working on the breezeway here. I'm using those glass awnings that came with Get Together, and as you can see, I just copied them just to create a little bit of interest. I don't know exactly what purpose they serve, but I like the way they look. And I added in those square lights that came with Dine Out, and it just looks amazing at night. I think that breezeway would be ideal if, like, your Sims needed to just go to a place where they could be away from everyone. I do add a lot of benches over there, and quite a bit. And yeah, I think it's a nice place. If you didn't want the benches there, that would be a perfect place to do yoga or to meditate. So yeah. And now I'm doing this checkered board type effect. I haven't done it like this before with the patches of grass, but I have done it before, and to me, I don't know, that's just something that feels expensive. It feels rich. And I'm adding in this porch here on the butler's wing or the guest room, whatever you like to use it for. And I feel like sometimes when you say something like butler's wing, people automatically feel like, oh, this is for commoners. But no, like, this is actually a really nice space. Like, if it was up to me, that would probably be the room that I would live in because it's the most self-contained. But we'll get into that a little bit later on. We are working on the kitchen now. I made sure to put 2 stoves in here because what's fancier than 2 stoves? And there's also 2 sinks in here. And maybe this family is on a kosher diet where they have to keep, you know, their meat separate from other things. Maybe they're just a germaphobe, or maybe they got a good deal on appliances. Who knows? But there's 2 of those things in here. I wouldn't necessarily say this family is kosher only because I only put in 1 refrigerator. But if you want a kosher family, you can take out that other sink, move it next to the other sink, and then put the that sounds ridiculous. But move the second refrigerator over there. But you can rearrange it however you like. Please don't feel obligated to keep things exactly how I have it if you so choose to download this into your game. And yeah, here we are back in the kitchen. I'm adding in some small kitchen appliances. I really love that that stone paver behind the stove and those cabinets on the wall. And I decided to put in the dining room next to the kitchen because like I said, there's so many outdoor spaces. You know, why put all of that energy into the inside when I can make it nice, simple, and clean and still beautiful without being over the top. We're working on a home office now. I love that chair, the office chair that came with the Get Famous pack. I think it's like a gamer's chair, but to me it just looks like a really fancy ergonomic chair. And I add in 2 of those bookcases that came with base game, if I'm not mistaken. And I love that carpet. I'm not sure what pack it came from. Actually, I didn't quite catch the icon as it flew past. But I really like it. Now I am just adding some pictures and things. I was going to put a mirror in the office, but it wasn't necessary, so I moved that into the hallway. And I'm bouncing back and forth between the main building and the, I guess you can kind of call it an annex. Yeah, the main building and the annex. With the Butler's wing in the movie theater, because like I would be scrolling for something specific and then I would see something else that I need, so I'm like, okay, let me do this before I forget. So that's why if you notice in my videos, I bounce back and forth quite a bit just to make sure that I include everything that I need to include. And I love these red curtains that came with the Get Famous pack. I just wish that I was able to manipulate how long they were, because in some places I couldn't put a curtain because like it would be over a door. Anyway, we are in the first bedroom on the main floor. Anyone can stay here. You can change up whatever you like, of course. But the sim I had in mind was like a teenage girl or like a young adult girl who had a dog, a poodle specifically, and there's kind of like a mature aesthetic about it. Like there are a lot of neutrals, but there's also like that soft gold in there, and I really like it. Like I said, I feel like Get Famous pairs really well with the Vintage Glamour pack. A lot of the color schemes are very similar, and I feel like some of the more luxurious items from Get Famous match perfectly with the all the way luxurious aesthetic from the Vintage Glamour Stuff pack. Now we're in the main hallway. I'm just adding in a couple of ottomans here. I would imagine that if you had a guest over and like maybe one of your sims was about to go out with them for like a night on the town or like on a date, you know, that would be a place that they would sit and wait for them. Excuse me. Now we're working on the trophy room. This is right off of the main hallway and the kitchen. I really love this room. I adore this room. It looks out into the pool and also onto the front of the street. So it's like, I love it. Initially I was going to make this into maybe like an art gallery room, but I felt like since this is Get Famous, why not go all out? Give this person living here all of these trophies and awards. And I like the little strongman award in the corner. It kind of reminds me of an Oscar. So maybe whoever lives here is a well-accomplished actor or actress. And I also use those pedestals in the middle to put more trophies on. And in the corner, if you didn't notice, I had the Brindleton Bay city model and the one of the paintings from Brindleton Bay as well. Now we are in the upper area. This is going to be like our informal living room or formal living room, however you want to see it. But the master bedroom is off to the side. We haven't quite gotten into it yet, but I really love this living room. Now initially I wanted the living room, the kitchen, and the dining room to all be on one level. However, I was running out of space and I wanted to include things like that bedroom, a nice bathroom, and the home office and the trophy room. Like those were main things for me. Like I felt like they were just a little bit higher up on the priority list than a living room. No shade to living rooms, I just felt like there was so much space for your sims to feel comfortable outside that I was able to put it in a little bit later on. But I like how this came out. I really love the color scheme that I used, and I like that concrete that I use in this space. I do use that in other parts of the build, but I really like how it looks here. And the furniture is kind of like this white or kind of creamy, like very bright off-white color. And I like those what do you call those? Base seats. I like those base seats that I just put together, and I put in one of those side tables from Get Famous right next to it. And now I'm just lining the floors with this rug or pieces of rug that came with the Vampires pack. Now we are in the master bedroom, and I am satisfied with this room. I'm not completely satisfied with this room. Looking back at the footage and the pictures, there are a couple things that I would tweak, but I do feel like this room is quite functional. This one gave me a challenge because although the master suite obviously has the most space out of all of the rooms, I had to put in, well, I wanted to put in a walk-in closet and a luxurious bathroom and a foyer, so that was slowly eating away from the actual bedroom itself. But I'm realizing that Sims, they really don't need oodles of room. Like they don't need like a football field for a bedroom, you know, because you will run out of ideas and drive yourself crazy trying to fill up the space instead of making it functional. And also rooms that are too big, they are not the best for gameplay. So that's why I said I'm satisfied with it. Aesthetically, I felt like I could have pushed it a little bit more, but y'all, this build took me about 11 hours to do in total. So sometimes I was running out a little bit of steam. Like I'll admit, like sometimes I was like, oh my gosh, when is this gonna end? But looking back at it now, I'm glad that I kept going. this week was Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to you all. I know this is a couple days after when this is going to be posted, but I hope everyone had a happy holiday. We actually hosted Thanksgiving here at our new home, and like the day of and like the day before, we was just doing a lot around the house. So this build was supposed to have been up like on Thanksgiving. But that didn't quite happen because we hosted here, and I had to clean, and I just been doing different things around the house, just preparing for guests to come over. So this week was something else, but all good. It was something else though, and it was a nice experience. Sorry, that was just me adjusting in my chair. Actually having guests over, we would definitely do it again. Next time I would just start a little bit earlier as far as decor, because there were several trips to the store made, but I'm just glad that it's over and I had such a great time with my family. Anyway, back to the build. I was just working on the pool area, just adding in some of those seats that came with the Perfect Patio Stuff Pack, and I did this thing where I used to move objects on sheet, and I put the ottoman with the chair, and it looked more like a lounger. Now we're in the Butler suite, or the guest room, however you want to call it. Like I said, it's more self-contained. The reason why I say that is because it's basically like a studio apartment where you have all of your needs and accoutrements in one big room essentially, and the only room that's separated by walls is the bathroom, and I really like it. Like I said, like just because I said it's a Butler's wing, like doesn't mean anything. Like it doesn't, well, one, Butlers are people too, so I don't like when people kind of treat service workers as less than, because we're all people, like we all bleed red, we all have to go to the bathroom and take poops and things like that. That's completely left, but I'm just saying we're all people. Like no one is better than the next person. And then also, I mean, hello, this is a mansion, so regardless of the room and what it's meant for, it's going to be nice and fancy and expensive. So me personally, I would stay in this room. I would probably stay in this room first because I have my own space. I don't have to worry about anyone else using my bathroom, using my kitchen, all up in my stuff. So I really like this room. Anyway, what was I saying? What was I saying? But yeah, like I said, this is self-contained. It's basically like a studio, and we were working on the kitchenette there, just adding in some decor pieces, and everything works, which is good. And I really like the color scheme. The color scheme of this room is slightly darker than the other bedrooms. It has more of a gray tone opposed to a brighter, whiter tone. Now we are in the home theater, and I really love it. I used these red chairs that came with the Get Famous pack. Yeah, I was gonna say movie hangout, but I was like, no, that's not right. No, these came with Get Famous, and I love the tufted details on them. And I used these movie posters that came from both Get Famous and the movie hangout stuff pack, and I felt like that was nice. Like if you have like your home theater and like you're coming in and you're seeing all of these posters being premiered, like it just puts you in the mood of actually going to the movies. Now as you can see, I'm just adding in some green flooring and some, well, not green flooring, it's grass flooring, but just making some more green spaces around the lot, polishing everything off. And I think we are about to make our dog training area. So as I mentioned earlier, one of the Sims here has a poodle, and I would think maybe this Sim is like a dog trainer or a dog breeder, and maybe they do like dog shows and things like that. So that was my whole idea behind building a dog training area. And it's not too often where I use cats and dogs items that are for the pets. Like I use like a lot of the floorings and wall panelings and furniture and things like that, but I don't use a lot of the pet items. So I wanted to include that in this one. Like just because you're famous doesn't mean you don't like animals. Like come on. And now we are about to do kind of like our outdoor entertainment area. We have a barbecue, we also have a bar, and just a couple places to sit around the place, right around the koi pond. Now my Sims added koi fish in, but I know you can also add in piranha sharks, and something else. It escapes me. I think they're called, don't get me the line. You can add something else. Like there's 4 different options for what you can fill that pond with. And then you can also add a natural cleanser. So I think those are snails. As far as the natural cleanser, the reason why I say that is because I play tested it and didn't notice any snails, and then as soon as I clicked on add natural cleanser, here comes the snails. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. I'm just finishing off the place, just working on the area where the cars are going to be, flattening it out and sizing up some cars here. And what I do towards the very end of the video is just add in like a helicopter pad. Yes, you heard me, a helicopter pad. Like this place is truly over the top and I really love it. And then there's also kind of like this modern fountain type deal by the gate. But yeah, anyway, you guys, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up here because we're gonna hit the screenshots in just a few. I just want to say again to everyone, thank you all so much for watching. I really appreciate and love each and every one of you all, and it makes my day knowing that I'm doing something that someone actually wants to see. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. It lets me know what types of videos you like, and it just really helps me to make more content that are catered to you all, because this is what it's all about. Be sure to follow me on my social medias. My Instagram handle is Simply-Nisey. I post thumbnails and a couple things from my personal life if you're interested, and be sure to follow me on Twitter. I do polls, I ask you all questions, and I also do post updates there. My Twitter handle is Simply-Nisey YT. And for more builds like this and others that I've done in the past, follow me on the gallery. My origin ID is Simply-Nisey. Again, you all, thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you all in the next video. Bye guys.